Welcome, fellow last placers, to another episode of LPF Debrief, where Chris and I talk about TV shows, movies, and sometimes anime. I think we finally have nailed
Yeah,
it.
that's three in a row, man. That's three in a
We
row.
got it. So yeah, today's episode we are going to be talking about What If episode 6, if I'm correct. Yes, 6, where if Thor was an only child. Well, no, episode 7. Sorry,
It is
where
7?
Thor. Yeah, it is 7. We've
Okay.
already got 7. We only have 3 more left. Where Thor is the only child. So we're gonna start every episode the same way we always do, by shaming Yendi for not watching any of our content. Well, he watches it, but he just doesn't participate. So
No, he don't
shame.
watch it. Shame.
He says he watches this part, so we'll see.
Uh,
Yendi, if you
oh,
watch this
okay.
part,
I thought you meant
leave a
like.
comment.
I thought you meant.
Leave a comment if you watch this part.
And I
so
feel
we can
bad for
see if you
Yendi. I
really
just
do.
want to say, Yendi, because you're watching through this point. I feel bad for you, man, because there's a lot of good content coming out right now,
I
and
know,
it's
and he's
it's
just missing out.
oh man.
Missing out.
And I don't
So
want to hear the
anyway,
excuse
guys,
I'm busy because you're
yeah,
watching all the old stuff. But anyway, yeah, go ahead.
exactly. So anyway, guys, also if you guys can help us out, please hit the like button, share, subscribe, do all that good stuff. We're still doing a mouse giveaway once we hit 100 subs on YouTube. It is a Steel Series wireless mouse. Yendi is dying to give it away, so please hit that button, tell a friend, refer us to people so we can get there, and then we could start doing some other giveaways. I mean, I've got some
Yeah.
pops here. I know Chris got some stuff too, so let's help us
Let
help
us
you.
give you stuff, man.
Yeah.
Let us give you stuff.
All
Also,
right.
as always, before we start, spoilers ahead. All right, we're getting
Yeah.
better at that too. Spoilers. If you don't want to know what happens in this episode, go watch the episode, come back. If you do just like the discussion, hang out and tell us what you think.
Exactly. And if you don't care about spoilers, well, you're in the perfect place. So let's get right into it. This is episode 7, where, like I said before, Thor is the only child. So, Chris, what was your first thoughts on these episodes?
I
First
didn't
one.
know how much could happen because I was just like,
Mhm.
only child. There's like, I did have that thought process of like, oh, like Loki taught him a lot while he was growing up. He had somebody that he cared about, and whenever he finds out like the how Loki's feeling and how he feels like he doesn't nobody loves him at all or anything like that, how much it changed Thor. The episode was funny. I'm happy. Like this week was nice to have like a little bit of a lighter episode, not having a dark episode.
A comic relief
Yeah,
episode.
I was laughing a lot. It was really good. Got to see Howard again. I love seeing Howard throughout the
Yeah.
episodes, and all the cameos and all that stuff happening around. Especially with the Watcher. The first time though, I mean, we'll talk about it later on, but
Yeah.
the first time he gets surprised. He's just
Yeah.
like, oh, everything's good. What? Wait, what? And he actually gets shocked.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed this episode. Yeah, it's up there for me for this season. So
Yeah, and we'll do a ranking of the episodes.
Yeah,
I
at the
think we
end.
should totally do one at the end, probably the week after it. So we'll do the season finale, and then, yeah, I enjoyed it too. I agree 100%. This was great to have an episode that was a lighthearted episode where we got to laugh because we just watched. I mean, 3 out of the last 4 were kind of really dark, like, you know what I mean? Because I mean, you had the Killmonger episode, you had the Doctor Strange episode, you had, what if the Avengers didn't set, like all that stuff was pretty dark. So it was nice to have an episode where we just got to see all these cameos, laugh. It was a party. So that whole environment for me was really good. I thought, like, I knew it would change the world because remember, Loki being adopted by Odin does make him also go off to, like, the whole Avengers 1 doesn't happen without that,
yeah,
right?
true.
Because he needs to know Thor, and he needed to know, like, that source of power and stuff like that, or try to search for it. And he no longer has that search of longing, even though he's you know later realizes, oh, this is my real family, kind of thing. So it does make sense that Thor would go off to being the person that he is, because he also doesn't have that hardship anymore, right? So,
Mhm.
like, him trying to, like, Loki, I need to, like, wrangle him in and stuff like that. He doesn't have to do that anymore. So all that stuff makes Thor just, hey, I'm gonna just be like going around partying the whole time because I don't really need, what I mean, to do anything else. So when he first shows up to Earth, I thought that was fantastic. It was nice to see how many people came back to do their voices. Like Natalie Portman came back, which is amazing because, or if you guys remember, there was a whole issue where she was like, "I don't want to do this anymore," kind of thing. And then now she's back, so I'm glad that happened. Kate Denning was back as Darcy, who I absolutely love, and it was just an overall great episode. I when they came back to like when they first got to Earth, and it seemed like, oh, Thor was gonna be like an alien invasion, and it's really just a humongous party. So
Yeah, it definitely felt like I caught that vibe. I was just like, "There's no
yeah,
way Thor is like gonna be a conqueror or something like that."
yeah,
Because whenever he shows up, he's like, I was like,
yeah.
"What?"
Exactly. Yeah, you just there's something you just don't believe. But again, the cameos though, there were so many in this one that I just wasn't really expecting. I guess it makes sense because now I mean, it's crazy to think how much the first Avengers actually affects the world, right? Because you have so many things that happen differently because of the Avengers and because essentially Thanos trying to get all the Infinity Stones, right? So it's crazy to think about that Loki doing all of the stuff he did to Earth affected everyone on the outside because now, because he's not there, Thanos probably doesn't know as much as he knows about the stones now.
Yeah,
I guess, like, you know what I mean? So seeing that was crazy, and just seeing everyone who was there. I mean, we saw like Drax was there, we saw everyone pretty much out, like Rocket was there, which was a really funny moment
yeah.
when they called back the rabbit thing. He was like, "Hey, there's a rabbit in the sink," and he's like, because he calls Rocket a rabbit. So it was really good to see all of that stuff.
It's
Some of
crazy.
the
Just
nice,
it's
yeah, go
crazy
ahead.
to think that how much a good time would save the world. Everybody was just like vibing. Everybody,
Yeah, everybody
yeah.
everybody was vibing. Like he was when they were in the club and he was like, "Hey, drink this, it never runs out," which was like a cool callback
Yeah.
to when Doctor Strange was keep feeding them beer and stuff. So, and I mean, Chris Hemsworth is just so good at portraying, like, it's so funny because Thor, like in the comics, is like used to be like a really serious character, and like they really try to hard like have that like that Norse kind of like mythology kind of thing. And it's so fun to see the MCU version of that because it's like he still has like all his traditions, but
Yeah.
he's just always having fun. And it always seems like even in serious moments, his serious sarcasm makes him also funny. So it's just like, yeah, I'm joking, but I'm not really joking kind of thing. So it was fun to see him just recapture that character. And it was cool. The way that Nick Fury got put out commission was
Oh, I thought he died. I thought I was
hysterical.
like,
I
"There's no
know.
chance." And he's like, "Is he okay?" Yeah,
Yeah,
he's still knocked out. And I was like,
yeah,
"Oh, okay." I was
yeah,
like, "Hold on."
yeah. Because when he's having the conversation, when him and Maria and Jane, and he's like, "You know why I'm acting like thing?" And then it's Krog just bulldozing over him to do a cannonball, and also getting all those voices again. Like I said
Yeah, man, it was
earlier,
a
was
lot.
amazing because Taika was in this. What's his name? Jeff Goldblum was in this,
Yeah, that was
and
a
I'm
shock. That was a big surprise for me. I was just like, "Whoa."
yeah, that one wasn't a shocker just because he has the show on Disney Plus, which is also
Oh,
great.
true. Yeah, I gotta.
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of those guys are like, tied into contracts, and I think they honestly, I do think they have a good time doing a lot of this content. So like, I think if they're available, they don't have any problem. And voice not saying voice acting is easy, like as in far as doing voice acting, but I'm saying like to be able to do it. So 'cause now we're at a point where we can literally do some voice acting stuff at home, right?
Hmm.
So it's easier to like in that sense of like the way it's distributed. So I could like look at us. We have like high quality microphones. Like it's not hard to send someone a high quality
Yeah, just get in the
microphone and then be like,
closet,
"Hey,
make a recording, and
yeah,
you're good to
make a
go.
recording," and then you're out. So it's good. And I love that. I think it's awesome that people can do some voice work from home, and you do some voice work, and then you're like,
And you
"Hey,
get some really
we
good
need you."
voices that way too, that don't
Exactly.
conflict with with scheduling. It's just like, hey man, like
Mhm.
I wish I could do this, but right now I'm here because I'm
Yeah.
filming this. Cool, just send us
Mhm.
a clip. Like all you need when you get
Yeah.
a chance, just record this clip. Like here's the
Yeah.
script and send us like, 10
Yeah,
lines.
because most of the time, as long as you're reading the line pretty well, the most of the work is done in post production anyway. So they're gonna do like the compression and
Yeah.
the limiting and all that stuff is done post. So it's a great way. It's one of the good things that actually happened is that people know how to access things like this and they're a little bit more tech savvy for it. And I think that whole thing is dope. So I think getting these voices probably wasn't as hard as it used to be. And they were just like, oh, hey, just record this whole script for me and we'll take care of the rest. So
Yeah, I also really liked how in the beginning of it, you get the sense that Odin is a hard ass because like whenever he's like falling asleep and they're like calming and she pokes his face, he's like, yeah, he's sleeping, and then they go to do their own thing. It's just like
and
they're like, oh, it's
like,
freedom. Like, here we go, let's go. She's like, I'm going to my sister's house. So
pretty much, I got that same vibe, and everyone was kind of wanting him to sleep. Even the mom was kind of like.
Like, bro, I'm sick of you. Like, you need
to. Yeah, I could deal with thing. Also, seeing Valkyrie in animated form was awesome. Also, Howard and Darcy getting married by Elvis was hilarious. Like, because you're in Vegas, you might as well they were gonna do a marriage scene. I didn't think it would have been Howard and Darcy.
Yeah,
I thought it would have been like Thor and Jane, and them getting the science and magic tattoos was also hilarious because like it was so prominent to see it on his arm. Like you could in every scene, it was just there. Like so, them getting those tattoos and her just Jane trying to be like trying to be serious and like smart and thing, but also just falling for Thor was also just hilarious because she's like, I can't do like what I mean, and then she's like, I love you, and she's like, oh, no. Like, he's like, what? So it had some good. I mean, they really did a lot on the cameos. I mean, they had the goddess from Volume 2 from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
yes,
Gold,
yeah.
She was there like when he was taking the pictures to say waffles. They did some good stuff. And then I mean, the whole thing when she was like, "Hey, we haven't had alien contact before." And then she's like, hold on." Like, what I mean? And she's like, "No, that's not true at all." Which, I mean, that's an interesting thing to me too, that they consider her an alien when she's really not an alien. She's just has like Captain Marvel's not really an alien.
No,
she's human that just has
powers. Like she just happened to, But so, I mean, another favorite moment of mine too was I'm gonna keep going back to this Howard stuff because whenever I had a feeling something like that, the marriage thing was gonna happen because of the first interaction. And it's just like, I mean, like we got this guy walking around and he's like, oh, I forgot what he says to her, but something about being a brunette. And whenever they get married, I was like, this makes sense. And later on, where she runs back into him and he's like, well, isn't it? Or, well, if it isn't Mrs. Howard the Duck. And then he's like, shut up, Howard. Like, they're getting into it already. Just those two characters together. I want to see, like, I would love to see that in the movie somehow. But it was so funny. But going on to when Loki shows up, that moment was really good. Whenever I also had that sense of feeling where I'm like, okay, they're not going to hate each other. Like this is gonna like
they have no reason to
exactly. So whenever they see each other and they start making fun of each other, and I look at them, I was like watching TV. I was like and they go So it was it was really fun. I did laugh really hard whenever I saw how tall Loki was though. Whenever he comes back as a frost giant.
So that was also just perfect because he's literally like a frost giant because he hasn't studied magic. You know what I mean? So he just is going to be exactly what he was and still being the prince over there and was awesome. The fight scenes, again, I can't say this enough. The animation to these fight scenes are so good because that whole fight scene between Captain Marvel and Thor, it was just like, man, this looks amazing. And then especially when they even went to one of my favorite parts of that whole fight was when they go into the clouds and then you just see their power, because it reminded me of Dragon Ball Z. And it was like they're flying in the air and it's like you see their energy field kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, man, this is such a cool fight scene. Like but just thinking about all that was amazing. And the fact that they were punching each other to like different countries, like different continents was also just like, that's the perfect way to show how strong these characters are. Like they're literally punching these like each other into different sections of the world.
And I thought it was funny how Captain Marvel uses the hammer to confirm if he's still like conscious. Because whenever
Yeah.
that moment where she knocks him and then the hammer's still
Yeah.
there and you see the hammer
Yeah.
fly, she's like, and then she
Yeah.
she has to keep going like she
Yeah.
knows. But whenever
was
she
funny.
snatches him too, whenever he's in
Yeah.
Australia and he goes to jump, and then he's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, who wants to see me slide?" And everybody cheers, and then
Yeah.
you just hear,
Yeah.
"Ah!"
Such a good stuff. It was really good. And then the fact that she's like, "Don't touch those," and then he's like, "What is it?" He's like, "I don't know, but
No,
they're not
don't.
supposed to be on the ground." And so, like, so that was great. And I love that he did the thing where he puts the hammer on her chest because
Yeah,
obviously
and
she can't move it. But he also did that to Loki.
Yeah.
So it was really good him doing that. And like I said, that fight scene was great, and just their interaction also was really good. Him and Captain Marvel kind of like, hey, we're both really strong. I don't know, like we're just gonna be fighting for days, kind of thing. And she's just like, oh, I'm gonna leave, like kind of thing.
Well, the
And
fact that he
then-
wins by embarrassment, like he
Yeah.
wins by embarrassing her. He's like,
Yeah.
you know, everybody calls her a party pooper. And that moment
Yeah.
where he just picks up the hammer and walks away,
Pooper.
and her's like, pooper, pooper. I was like, wow, this is some.
Yeah.
this is
What a great way to
ridiculous.
win a fight. But man, there was some other good moments when they were partying in Solter is talking to the Statue of Liberty.
Yes.
Like saying like, hey, you like fire? I see you like fire because she has the torch. I was there. They had some really, really funny moments in this. Loki changing the Mount Rushmore into the Loki, having the Loki
Yeah.
things. Man, there was a lot of great moments.
But I thought it was cool how it's the enemy was the party. Like
Yes.
they've been destroying everything, because in the beginning when she goes up to him, she's like, you guys destroyed a planet. And he's like, what?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
like no.
And he was like, it was more of a meteor.
Yeah,
but,
everybody's was having a good time. Everybody got out
Yeah.
safe. Like we're good.
Mhm.
So
it was just him being a party animal
Yeah.
that kind of just was messing up things. But then it was hilarious because then when Jane's like, "Hey, you're like, let me talk," like, and the way she called Heimdall was so cool to me. Like having the
Can't remember how she
thing
did it.
in.
Oh yes,
she
yes,
used-
yeah.
in the truck, and then she's like Heimdall, and he just like wakes up and then instantly like calls her.
Yeah.
Like that was so cool to me because we've never like. That would be, I guess, would be the only way that would work besides a god doing it. So
Mhm.
the fact that worked was really showed off Jane's like smartness. So, and I like when they show characters being super smart and actually making the geniuses geniuses. So she is a genius. So she knows like a person who studies all this Norse mythology and stuff, that she would be able to figure that out. So I thought that was cool. Her calling his mom was hilarious. And then she's like, "Wait, Jane called my mom? Like,
Yeah,
that's not cool."
And then
And
she
then his
calls her. She's
mom-
like, "Well,
yeah.
I'm on my way." Like classic, like
Yeah.
TV. Like, hey, we're
Mhm.
on the hey tonight's shot. Like your parents, the date doesn't work out, and they're like, we're
Yeah.
on our way home right now, and they're like,
Mhm.
okay. And it's just like the
And
cleanup.
then he's like, and telling everyone, "Hey, my mom's coming." Like, hurry up.
Everybody's
Like,
like,
we need to clean
what?
this. And, yeah. And then him telling Nebula, and she's like, "Oh, I think my dad needs me."
Yeah.
Like, and then he actually uses like his full power not to fight someone, but to scream to everyone, "Hey, I need your help fixing the Earth." And then it was like you said, it was that cool.
Well, the chant, like
mom is
everybody,
coming home.
yeah, everybody
Yeah.
was afraid of the mom, except for like Loki. You see his true colors come
Yeah.
out for a minute there, where he's like, you have to help me clean this. He's like, I don't have to do anything. And he's
Yeah,
like,
he's
I'll
like,
see
yeah,
you
I'm not
later.
really-
Like, I'll see you at the
She's
next
like,
one.
"Mom," yeah. She's like, she's not my mom.
Yeah,
You know what I
exactly.
mean?
He's like,
So-
remember, we're brothers from another mother. I
another
said
mother.
that.
So that was great. And then she like her flying down and him fixing all of the things they did because they were messing up with everything. They messed with all the like U.S. landmarks and just having those things go all over the place.
The
And
Leaning
him
Tower of Pisa,
yeah.
going back straight. Like whenever
straight,
he's like
which
pushes
when
it
was
back, and I was
supposed
like,
to be leaning,
okay.
yeah, you messed up.
Yeah, it was like
And
classic
then-
cartoons, man. It's so
Yeah, it was-
good.
It was so good. Him doing that and then her coming back down and then him finally being like, okay, like essentially lying, saying, "Hey, like this, I'm doing like a study on Earth kind of thing." And then for her to, when she finally gets there and they meet Rome and everyone's just sitting down like a classic
She
classroom.
knows immediately. She
Yeah,
has the mom. She's like, bullshit. Like, this is
yeah.
not
No,
real.
she didn't, yeah, at first she was like, wait, what? And then she didn't really get it until Captain Marvel shows up and was like, here's all of this like information like that you need. And then she was like, hmm. And then of course, Thor being Thor calls his hammer and the hammer has all the party like
The
all the
beads
party
and all the
memories on there.
beads and
Yeah.
stuff on it. He's like, mother, I
So
can explain. She's like, like,
yeah. Because then she believed him. Once, like Captain Marvel validated it, and then him having the hammer was just she was just like, "Oh, come on!" Like I knew you were doing something you shouldn't be doing here, but also just everyone doing the unison when someone else walks in and they say the name kind
yeah.
of thing where we used to do in class because we everyone can relate to that. Like in school when another teacher walked in or a parent walked in and everyone's like, "Hi." And it always sounds like exactly the same. That was perfect. It was so yeah, it was really a good lighthearted episode. And then we had he shows up to Jane to say goodbye and ask for another date, and Jane's like really assertive with him and it's like, hey, like ask me out on a
Yeah,
date. And
take me
then he
out.
does. And then like the moment you mentioned earlier, then everyone's like, as they would the watcher goes, everyone would say, they end up happily ever after. And then we see a portal open,
And then
and
he goes,
then
what? And then he's
we see Ultron's body, but he has all the stones, and then the
the
face
mask
opens up
lifts. Oh.
and it's Vision. So this is this was a great thing because but I also have so many questions.
Yeah,
And a lot
yeah.
I've been noticing a lot of the times these cliffhangers have been leaving me with more questions than like me going, okay, well, the world's about to end. So I want to know how, obviously, I guess Tony would have still created Ultron, right? But
Yes.
here's the thing, though. That's not necessarily the case. Because remember, the whole downfall of this came because Avengers happened. Because remember, Avengers, like I was saying earlier today, I mean, early in this episode, Avengers is like one of the starting points because you can't have Civil War without Avengers. And you can't have Ultron without Avengers because Tony's whole premise on building Ultron was so that he could stop being a superhero. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and he saw Thanos, like not Thanos, but he saw the Empire and all that stuff. So if if Avengers 1 never happened, why would Tony build Ultron? So
I was
again,
wondering the
like
same thing. I was like, whenever I saw Vision's face, I was like, how is he here? What?
yeah, it
Like,
doesn't. And remember, Vision was created by Thor.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Well, help created by Thor because he was the one who had enough of the power to actually do it. So I'm curious, like, so yes, I think it's a cool moment, and it was definitely like one of those oh snap moments. But I also I really genuinely want to know how did that happen, and I hope season 2 explains some of that stuff because I think a cool idea for season 2 would be all of these cliffhangers and all of the things we should see the other side of them. So like then like the counterpart to this episode would be how Vision was created without this moment happening.
Oh,
Like, you
gotcha.
know what I mean?
Okay. All
You
right.
feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
so because this didn't happen, this is how Vision was created. And I
Yeah.
think if season 2 does that, I think that'd be super cool because that I want the answers to that question. It's the same thing. I want the answers to the question of how Thanos became a zombie because
Yeah.
it doesn't make any sense when you break it down. And this doesn't make any sense because I don't think Tony would have built Ultron if if the events at Avengers never happened. And clearly they didn't because Loki's a frost giant. So I don't know. That's just my what if for what if, okay? Because I want to know. I want to know the information, please. So yeah, and we're gonna do what we always do. Chris, what was your favorite moment of the show
Oh
of this
man,
episode?
there's so many.
There's a lot. There's a lot.
Ooh, I'm trying to think. Trying to think.
All right, I think I'll
You
do
can
mine first.
you can go
Uh,
first. You can go first.
I do think my favorite moment was the whole party scene and the hangover, like when Jane when Maria Hill comes over and it's pretty much Hangover, like you know what I mean, like where she has like all of this crap is laid a lot. And if you remember that first scene in Hangover after they go to Vegas and they're like all over the place and there's like a chicken and there's like all this crazy scenes in the first Hangover and them replicating that and having Rocket in the sink, who is Bradley Cooper, who was also in Hangover. So like stuff like seeing that whole scene and her trying to like maneuver through the legit chaos that was, that was pretty. That was my favorite part.
Man, it's so hard to think of one, man. I do like the fight scene, but I'm gonna go to when his mom comes back, and
Yeah,
it just like it was such a nice moment. Whenever she's looking at him and staring at him, she's like, before Captain Marvel shows up, and he's like, "Doubts, mother," and he has that awkward smile. He's like,
yeah,
"Come on," like it's like nothing's going on.
yeah. It
So I'd
was
have to
so
say that classroom scene.
yeah. The classroom scene was it was a legit classic and it was a callback to thing. And then one more thing, like we said, seeing the watcher being concerned about what, like him actually being shocked about what happened,
Was nuts,
also was a
yeah.
little concerning because like he's supposed to know. Like
Yeah.
he's the one telling us the story of this, and him not knowing makes me wonder what like legit what's next. Because like if he starts to not be able to cloud, and they somehow mesh this with what happened in Loki and stuff, and that being the reason why he can't see and or start understanding and not being able to understand the multiverse, that would be a nice little twist for to end this series, or at least this season. So
Dang,
we've
now
got what?
I want an animated Mobius.
Yeah, now we got three episodes left, and so I mean, yeah, three more episodes because we're finishing at episode 10. So I'm really interested to see where this thing ends off at. So that is going to wrap up that part. Again, guys, thank you for joining us. We will be doing the Visions, Star Wars Visions LPF debrief when Chris finishes, whenever that is. We don't know. So
If anything, we record tomorrow. It'll either go out tomorrow. If you're watching this, it'll either go out Friday or it'll come out Saturday because I have Saturday
yeah,
off also. So we're
I
good.
mean, yeah, it's whenever he finishes.
Yeah.
It will. So we might have a video. I won't say the exact date, so you guys just don't look for. So just in case, we don't know, but it will come out sometime before next week or like around
And if
next
it
week.
doesn't, then you shame me.
Yeah, we'll
Plot
shame
twist.
Chris.
But I ain't gonna let that happen.
So yeah, be on the lookout for that. Remember, every Tuesday we do our live show at 8 p.m. live on Twitch and soon to be YouTube. At some point in time, we will be doing that also. So pretty much, like I said earlier, please like, share, subscribe, do all that stuff. We are still doing a mouse giveaway, and we want to give away that mouse. We're also going to have next week's episode of What If so we'll see you guys on that, and then I think the week after that we have to do Venom at some
Venom's
point.
next week,
Yeah,
isn't it?
October 1st is
Yeah.
Venom. So yeah,
That's
so
next
we'll have that.
Friday.
Yeah, so we'll have that for you guys soon too. There's a lot of content, so please like the stuff, sub, so that way you can be up to date on all the stuff that we drop. So that is it for this episode of LPF Debrief. Until next week, Fire Team.